Hello, Svetlana is with you again. Today, we will make asteroid destruction more complex. Take a look here. In classic games, when an asteroid is destroyed, it doesn't just disappear, it splits into three smaller asteroids. They scatter in different directions, and the smaller asteroids have less durability. Then, when you destroy one of these smaller asteroids, it breaks into even tinier asteroids that can be destroyed with a single shot and leave nothing behind. To implement this scheme, we need to introduce another local variable. Let's select the asteroid base and go to the object's properties. In the Armory Props section, add a new variable of type string. This means it will store string values. Let's name it rock size. Change the value to big. In total, we will have three values for the rock size variable. Initially, asteroids appear with the value big. After the first destruction, the value changes to medium, and after the second destruction, the value changes to small. In short, after life becomes zero. We need to check the size of the destroyed asteroid, and depending on the size, take one of three paths. For convenience, let's go to the rock collision logical where we check if the asteroid's life has ended. Select the block and these two next to it. Then press Ctrl J. In the right panel, choose a color. In the label field, write the condition being checked in this block. If rock life is less than 1. Now we need 3 more checks. Create a new gate block. Place it immediately after the current one. In this block, we will compare two strings using the equal operator. The condition sounds like this: if the rock size variable is equal to big. Select the equal operator. Connect the first input to the getObject property block. In the property field, insert the name of the rock size variable. Connect the second input to the string block and type in the string value big. Done. Now let's think about the next step. If the rock size variable holds the value big, it means we have destroyed a large asteroid. He should split into 3 smaller asteroids, so we need to spawn 3 new objects. Right after spawning, we should place the new asteroids in the rocks folder. To make everything look nice, we should rotate each new asteroid at a specific angle so that they don't look identical and don't fly in the same direction. Also, we need to change the value of the rock size variable to medium in each new asteroid. Additionally, we should change the value of the rock life variable to 2 since medium-sized asteroids have less durability than large ones. Also, we need to reduce the size of the new asteroids, probably by half. Let's start with the first step. Let's spawn 3 new asteroids. To do this, we can use 3 spawn object by name blocks. But it won't look neat. We'd better do it with a loop counter. And to understand how it works, let's switch to the test scene. Open the test target logical branch. Delete unnecessary blocks, leaving only the keyboard and console output. Add a loop block. Set the range from 0 to 5. And we will print the string, spawn rock to the console. Let's run the game, press the spacebar. In the console, you will see 5 spawn rock lines. The DAN output triggers once after the loop stops. If we connect another print block to it, we can print, for example, the string finish once after the 5 spawn rock lines. We can also use the very useful index output, which passes the iteration number of the loop. If we print these values to the console, we will see a sequence of numbers from 0 to 4. It seems pretty straightforward. Let's go back to the main scene, to the rock collision logical branch. Add a loop block and place it immediately after checking the condition. Rock size equals big. We will spawn 3 asteroids, so we need a range from 1 to 4. Why not from 0 to 3? Well, it's more convenient this way. After that, add the spawn object by name block. Of course, we will be spawning the rock base object. In the main scene, the children checkbox, as always, remains active. For the spawn coordinates, we take them from the current asteroid that we will destroy after spawning the 3 new ones. We take the get object transform block and connect it to the transform channel. Just to remind you, after spawning an asteroid, we must immediately place it in a separate folder named rocks. Otherwise, collisions won't be tracked. To do this, right after spawning, insert the Add Object to Collection block. Enter the name of the collection as rocks. Connect the recently spawned asteroid to the object channel. Now let's think about how to rotate the 3 new asteroids in different directions. For this, we can strain our brains or ask the almighty Google how many degrees are in a circle. Then, we can divide this value by our 3 asteroids. We'll get 120 degrees. We should add exactly these 120 degrees to each new asteroid. Let's give it a try. First, we need a set object rotation block. As the object, of course, we specify the recently spawned object. We will take the initial rotation angle from the original asteroid, which we will destroy after spawning the 3 new ones. So, let's get the get object rotation block, but we won't rush to connect it anywhere for now. Now we need to add a little bit of math to the obtained angle. To be more precise, we should increase the initial angle by 120 degrees with each iteration. Let's grab the math block, set it to addition mode, connect our original angle to the first channel, and enter the value 120 in the second field. Pay attention to this connection. We connected a matrix to a numeric input. In this form, the scheme won't work. First, we need to obtain the rotation angle in a regular numeric value and then connect it to the math block. To do this, we can add a separate rotation block. Set it to the familiar mode axis, angle, degrees. Connect the angle output to the first input of the math block. Let's move on. Currently, we can't simply connect the obtained result to the rotation channel because the rotation channel doesn't accept just a numeric value. It needs an array of values. To pass the rotation angle obtained through math to the set rotation block, we need a rotation block. Again, let's set it to a clear mode, axis, angle, degrees. We will be changing the angle along the z-axis, so in the z field, change 0 to 1 and connect the calculated angle to the angle channel. Now, here's the issue. Look, if we take the same angle each iteration and add 120 to it, all 3 new asteroids will be rotated in the same direction. Consequently, they will also fly in the same direction. What we need is something like this. Spawn the first asteroid, rotate it by 120 degrees, spawn the second asteroid, rotate it by 240 degrees, and the third one, of course, by 360 degrees. Then, the 3 asteroids will be rotated in different directions with a 120-degree difference. To elegantly implement this scheme, we need another math block, this time in multiplication mode. In the first field, enter 120, and for the second channel, connect the index output from the loop block. And now, we connect this block to the addition operation in the same channel where there was a fixed value of 120 before. Here's what happens. In the first iteration, we add 120 multiplied by 1 to the angle. The second asteroid will be rotated by 240 degrees because 120 multiplied by index 2 is, strangely enough, 240. And the third asteroid will be rotated by 360 degrees because 120 multiplied by index 3 is, as a result, 360 degrees. Let's run the game and make sure everything works. For convenience and clarity, let's select all the blocks related to the rotation of the new asteroids and group them in a frame. Choose a color and label it as set angle for rocks. Now, we just need to change the values of variables and the scale. Grab to set object properties blocks and immediately place a set object scale block after them. In the properties fields, specify the variables rock life and rock size and set the scale for the x and y axis to 0.5. Leave it at 1 for the z-axis. Now, for the variable values. For the rock life variable, we need an integer block. We connect it to the value channel and set the value to 2. The strength of the new asteroids will be 2. Let's move on to the rock size variable. Here, we need a string block. Enter medium into it. Don't forget to connect the link from the spawn block to all object inputs. Feeling tired? Well, don't give up, there's just a little left. Select the blocks with variables and press Ctrl J. Choose a color, label the frame. For example, set variables. You can also place the set scale block in a frame and label it. Now, add one large frame for all the blocks involved in spawning 3 new asteroids and label it spawn 3 new rocks. Now, we need to add one more comparison for the rock size variable. If rock size equals medium, select this group, add a frame, and label it. If rock size equals big, copy the group and place it to the right and below. Now, carefully connect the false output from the previous check to the input on the new check. Also change the variable value to medium. Change the comment on the frame as well. Now, copy this large frame with the spawn of 3 new asteroids and connect it to the new condition. In this frame, we need to change the variable values and scale. If we destroy a medium-sized asteroid, we need to set a small scale for the new 3 asteroids. Set both x and y axis to 0.25. Change the value of the rock size variable to small. Change the value of the rock life variable to 1. Small asteroids will be destroyed with a single hit. Once again, copy the frame with the rock size comparison. Place it below and to the right. Connect it to the false output of the previous check. Change the comment on the frame and the variable value for comparison. Now the condition is as follows. If the value of the rock size variable equals small. After this check, we won't do anything special. We will simply destroy the asteroid. We will destroy the asteroid in any case. So all 3 events should end with the spawning of an explosion and the deletion of the original asteroid. We can duplicate this group of nodes and connect it to all events. But it's better to add a gate block. Choose the operator OR and click on the new button to add another channel. Now the block has 3 inputs. Connect all 3 events to them. However, we don't connect them from the last block in the event, because that's the end of one iteration, and there will be 3 in our loop. If we connect the destruction of the main asteroid from here, it means we will delete it 3 times in a row. We need to delete it after the loop is finished. Therefore, we need the done output on the loop block. Now the block will send a control signal to the next group of nodes every time any of the events triggers. The final touch. Let's rotate the asteroid to a random angle before checking which asteroid we destroyed, so the rotation angle of the new asteroids will be different each time. To do this, right after, we make sure that it's time for the asteroid to rest, add a set object rotation block. Connected to the rotation block, which we will set to the familiar axis, angle, degrees mode. As always, change the z-axis value to 1. Connect the angle input to a random integer block with a value range from 0 to 359. Run the game. You can see that it all worked out. Enjoy and take a break. See you soon.